मेरे साथ. Let's open up the live stream and see कौन कौन जुड़ा है मेरे साथ, यानी कि जेमी ऑल्टर के साथ. The live stream is called Coffee and Cricket. इसी बात पर here's my coffee mug from 2019 World Cup Lords जो मैं लेके आया था, और हम बात करेंगे क्रिकेट की बहुत सारी बातें दोस्तों, कल के मैच के बारे में, ऑनगोइंग मैच के बारे में between England and Bangladesh, but we'll focus more on the second match coming up between Pakistan and बाल सेट कर दे थोड़ा सा, and श्रीलंका. पिछली बार एक सेकंड, let me have a sip of coffee first. कॉफी, क्रिकेट, आप सब प्यारे लोग. जी हाँ, तो कल नेदरलैंड्स को हराया न्यूजीलैंड ने. आई वाज सेइंग ऑन द लाइव स्ट्रीम कि आई थिंक 350 370 का स्कोर बनना चाहिए, वहां तक नहीं पहुंचे, बट ऑन द डे 322 बहुत 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 रन्स थे नेदरलैंड्स के लिए. अनफॉर्चुनेटली वंस अगेन Netherlands just were not able to maintain pressure consistently on the opposition team, and again they didn't let them run away to a massive score. किसी ने 100 नहीं मारा, केवल तीन लोग 50 तक पहुंचे. Will Young, someone who I said on my Raposo show yesterday will probably get you good fantasy points, he top scored with 70 after getting a duck against England, but 70, 153, 151, 148, nothing really much to speak of in terms of a massive innings, but 322 कल बहुत बहुत runs थे नेदरलैंड्स के लिए. मिचेल सैंटनर getting 5 wickets, a bit of a controversial stumping. मैंने स्क्रीनशॉट लगा के ट्वीट भी किया था कल कि भैया ये कैसे आपने ये फैसला लिया कि भाई टॉम लेथम collected the ball in front of the stumps. But overall, the big news from yesterday, New Zealand 2 out of 2 remain top of the points table, 4 points. और इनके जो अगले दो मुकाबले हैं चेन्नई में, यानी कि बांग्लादेश के साथ और अफगानिस्तान के साथ, I think they're going to be 8 points after 4 straight losses, which puts pressure on the other teams. Yes, Rohit Abja is another 400 loading at Dharamshala. I don't know whether 400, but definitely this is a 370, 375 total for sure. If England maintain this run rate, if the firepower to come, you've got Joe Root, you've got Butler, you've got Harry Brook. My word, Harry Brook is playing this match. You've got Josh Butler, Liam Livingston. भाई Liam Livingston को अगर आप 10 गेंद दे भी दो, तो उन 10 गेंद में भाई वो आपको 30, 32, 35 रन दे सकते हैं on any given day. So yes, it looks like England are going to put up a massive total. Let's look at the second match of the day, that is Pakistan versus Sri Lanka in Hyderabad. दोस्तों इस साल ये टीम्स एक ही बार मिले हैं अंतरराष्ट्रीय वनडे क्रिकेट में, और ये ऐसा धमाकेदार मैच था about a month ago, right, in Colombo in the Asia Cup. ये एक नॉकआउट मैच था, हालांकि लीग मैच था, पर दोनों पाकिस्तान के लिए और श्रीलंका के लिए ये एक लीग मैच था, बिकॉज इंडिया हैड ऑलरेडी क्वालिफाइड फॉर द एशिया कप फाइनल. और ये जो मुकाबला था पाकिस्तान श्रीलंका के बीच, इट वेंट डाउन टू द लास्ट बॉल. Kusal Mendes got a brilliant innings, missed 100 very, very closely. He dominated Pakistan's attack. He kept the run rate exceptionally high. फिर फंसे, पारी फंसी, लेकिन फिर the best number 5, arguably I would say the best number 5 going around, because KL Rahul is doing some fantastic things. Charit Asalanka held his nerve, kept his nerve, faced Shaheen Shah Afridi in the last over and got Sri Lanka across the line of the last ball in a nail-biting thriller. तो उस दिन के बाद से आज तक हम देखें दोनों टीम्स के फॉर्चून थोड़े ऊपर नीचे हो गए. आपने सुना होगा मुझसे पहले भी इस लाइव स्ट्रीम में कि उसी एशिया कप में जो पाकिस्तान टीम एज वन ऑफ द फेवरेट्स उतरी थी उस टूर्नामेंट में बाय बीटिंग नेपाल बाय 238 रन्स. फिर उसके बाद जो इंडिया के सामने उस टीम के धागे खुल गए when KL Rahul and Virat Kohli put on that stunning 200-run stand. Uske baad se the Pakistan team stumbled. And that last match, what turned out to be their last match of the Asia Cup, that last ball, final ball defeat to Sri Lanka, uske baad se they looked a different team. Naseem Shah injured ho gaye. A lot of questions were asked of Babar Azam's captaincy, Farhana Dimkana. Sri Lanka got to the final. लेकिन final के दिन मोहम्मद सिराज ने 6 विकेट लेकर श्रीलंका को 50 पे ऑल आउट किया. और उसके बाद we've seen the struggle that Sri Lanka's had to go through. Dushmantha Chameera never made it to the World Cup. Wanindu Hasaranga, their most valuable player, never made it to the World Cup. And we saw a depleted Sri Lankan team. Why in the world Dasu Nishaneka on the flattest track of the tournament, the Kotla, chose to field and then watched as his bowlers put up 428 runs. I gave 428 runs. I mean, South Africa, wow, 428. This is why बहुत लोग, मैंने आप जानते हैं मुझे, बहुत लोग मानते हैं कि साउथ अफ्रीका इस बार टक्कर की टीम है जहां पर सेमीफाइनल्स की बात करें. देन बहुत लोग ये भी कहते हैं कि भाई श्रीलंका really came close. Sri Lanka lost by over 100 runs. Yes, for some brief period, they pushed South Africa, but South Africa also do not have the best bowling attack. It was a flat track. All said and done, 754 runs were scored in that last match between Sri Lanka and South Africa. Now the teams are in Hyderabad. Pakistan तो जब से इंडिया आई है वो केवल हैदराबाद में है. श्रीलंका वहां पहुंची है. अगर हम पिछले दो मैच को देखें, ये कल का मैच और 4 दिन पहले का मैच, it is a track, a Hyderabad track where runs are on offer. Teams should be getting 330, 340 consistently there. लेकिन थोड़ी सी turn है, थोड़ी सी drift है वहां पे. I think Aryan Dutt of the Netherlands, he's done exceptionally well as a spinner. Mitchell Santner कल 5 विकेट उस track पे ले गए. तो यहाँ पे कहीं ना कहीं हालांकि पाकिस्तान के पास मेरे हिसाब से team to team has a better bowling attack. If the track plays slightly slower than it did in yesterday's match, also in Hyderabad, then I think महेश तीक्षणा जो कि आज के मैच के लिए वापस आए. महेश तीक्षणा आपको याद दिला दो, वो एशिया कप से नहीं खेले हैं. He got injured just before the final. He didn't play that match. With him coming back, ऊपर से दिनोत वेलालागे who got pasted in the last match, but that is a flat Kotla track with small boundaries. On this track, I think while Shaheen, Hassan Ali, Haris Rauf are definitely heads and shoulders, leagues ahead of Sri Lanka's pace bowlers right now, I think if the track plays slightly to Hyderabad's expectation and tradition, Dinut Velalage, Dhananjaya De Silva, and Mahesh Theekshana could give Sri Lanka the edge. लेकिन उसके हिसाब से आप ये भी कह सकते हो कि अगर शादाब खान ने वापसी करी इस मैच में, तो it'll become a much tougher Pakistan side. Crick Maniac is saying, I'm backing SL to win today. After the kind of batting they display under pressure, they have better. Look, when you have Kusal Mendes, when you have Dhananjaya De Silva, when you have no, sorry, not him, he's useless. Just Asalanka. You have batsmen, but right now, how do you bounce back from that pasting? Pakistan's middle order still stood up that day after being, 38 for 3 against Netherlands. I don't know. This is one of the strange times where I'm actually Crick Maniac. I'm not able to say कि भाई इस टीम के पास कुछ distinct advantage है, ये टीम आज जीतेगी. I actually think it's probably 55-45, 55 to Pakistan, because I still think their batting on the day stands to do better if all the players play to potential and they have Shaheen and Haris Rauf. But Sri Lanka, अगर track turn होती है, let's see what happens. Hi, Dhruv. With the kind of attacking batsmen Sri Lanka has, maybe they can cause problems to one-dimensional. Yes, they have very attacking batsmen as compared to a misfiring Pakistan top order. But again, I just Sri Lanka are so inconsistent when it comes to the one-day format. Remember, they were so poor. They had to go to Zimbabwe to play the qualifiers. On qualifiers, में West Indies को छोड़ के सारे top 10 से बाहर ranked teams थे. So I just don't read too much into Sri Lanka's success this year, because predominantly most of their cricket came in the World Cup qualifiers. So I'm really struggling to back this Sri Lankan team in this World Cup. Navjot Padhi कह रहे हैं Sri Lanka will win given they just chased 300 plus in the last match. No, they didn't chase. They were chasing 429. They lost by 100 runs. So बहुत लोग कहते हैं कि that chase showed some spark. Yeah, when the Samne team puts up 428, the second team, unless it's England, never came close. And yet Sri Lanka, some batsmen impressed, but let's face it, they still lost by 100 runs. So I'm reading nothing into Sri Lanka's chase. I still have them as a very poor one-day side. हार्दिक भाई जी, श्रीलंका फेवरेट है इस मैच में. चलो बताइए क्यों. जो नेदरलैंड्स के अगेंस्ट 300 नहीं बना पाए श्रीलंका के बॉलर, उसे कुछ अच्छी है. नहीं, वही मैं कह रहा हूं, श्रीलंका की पेस बॉलिंग इस वर्ल्ड कप की सबसे खराब पेस बॉलिंग है नेदरलैंड्स के खिलाफ. बल्कि many will say कि Bash the leader is a better pace bowler than anything Sri Lanka has. Kasun Rajita, all those bowlers, Matisha Patirana, he's been so bad since the IPL. मैन टू मैन पाकिस्तान, सबको पता है कि पाकिस्तान की बॉलिंग बहुत बहुत अच्छी है एज कंपेयर टू श्रीलंका. लेकिन कहां श्रीलंका के पास पॉसिबल एज है, वो है इफ द ट्रैक टर्न्स. यू माइट सी वेल आगे महेश तीक्षणा आज खेलेंगे एंड क्या नाम है उनका, धनंजय डे सिल्वा. बट मेरे हिसाब से श्रीलंका कहीं से फेवरेट्स नहीं है. आई वुड से 5% मोर फेवरेट्स पाकिस्तान. सूर्य विक्रम सिंह, पाकिस्तान will win this match. Interesting. By the way, Gill discharged from hospital and sources say Gaikwad. Can you tell me who your sources are? I would love to know कि आपके sources कौन हैं, क्योंकि भैया मैंने तो ऐसा कुछ नहीं सुना. If obviously I'm not asking you to name your sources, but if you can tell me from which quarters you've heard this news, Crick Maniac, I would be very very interested. Oh, Johnny Bairstow out हो गए हैं. Bairstow out हो गए 52 के लिए. शाकिब का पहला विकेट, यानी कि मेरा फैंटेसी कैप्टन आउट हो गए हैं मेरे फैंटेसी वाइस कैप्टन की बॉलिंग पर। वेरी वेरी टफ ना इफ यू प्ले फैंटेसी। बाय द वे बहुत लोग कहते हैं कि आप यहाँ पे थोड़ी फैंटेसी बातें करें, तो मैंने कहा आज कोशिश करते हैं। नो पॉइंट टॉकिंग अबाउट द मैच that is going on, but yes, my captain was Bairstow. He's been bowled by my vice captain Shakib. Hmm. Let's look on to the next match. Let me see, what did I make a fantasy team for this match? एक second. I think I made a fantasy team for this match. Let me just check and tell you. This is Pakistan versus, Pakistan versus वही कौन सा मैच है? हाँ हाँ, मैंने बनाया. If anyone wants to hear fantasy tips, here we go. Let's try this for the first time. My captain is Kusal Mendes. Kusal Mendes was my vice captain in the last match against South Africa. He got a good 50. He got me about 180 odd points as vice captain. I've gone for Babar Azam vice captain. इनका बल्ला बहुत दिन से नहीं बोल रहा. I think Babar Azam आज चलेंगे. I've got Mohammad Rizwan. I've got Imam ul Haq. पिछले मैच में मैंने फकर जमान को लिया, पर इनका इतना खराब फॉर्म है कि मैंने कहा धट निकल मेरी टीम से. एंड आई ब्रॉट इन साज शकील एज वेल. आई गॉट चरत असलंका, आई गॉट शादाब खान, आई गॉट धनंजय de Silva, Dunit Belalage, Haris Roff, and Shaheen Shah Afridi. If you think that's a good team, I'm sticking with Kusal Mendes. In the Asia Cup, I had him vice captain or captain whenever Sri Lanka played. Babar Azam, I think he's due a big score. He's been sitting in Hyderabad for now 10, 12 days. I think against this Sri Lankan attack, he should be able to get 100. So I'm sticking with the two most likely names to get me runs today. That is Kusal Mendes and Babar Azam. और कोई कमेंट आया है क्या? By the way, मैं आज शाम को दोपहर को 4 बजे I'll be going to the Kotla. पाजी ये है. I've got these I've got these fan jerseys for all the big matches, so I can wear them because obviously I'm not going to wear India jersey all the match. और फिर बाकी I felt for the World Cup I should add some color, add some flavor. So on days when a certain team is playing and I'm predicting, I don't back any other team to win, but I'm predicting them. That's why I'm going for England today. I've got this much. I don't have a Sri Lankan jersey. I will never have a Pakistan jersey. I got India का मेरे पास already था. मैंने क्या लिया? मैंने South Africa, मैंने न्यूजीलैंड आई ऑलरेडी हैव 3, मैंने ऑस्ट्रेलिया, इंग्लैंड, मैंने एक और लिया है, मैं भूल रहा हूँ. तो आई जस्ट थॉट फॉर जस्ट फॉर सम वैरायटी एंड जस्ट टू शो सम कलर एंड फ्लेवर on certain preview days when a big team is playing, at least the top 4 teams. I've got the jerseys for the top 4 teams I predict, as well as I've thrown in South Africa as a possible fifth option. I didn't buy Pakistan, I didn't buy Bangladesh, didn't buy Sri Lanka, didn't buy Afghanistan, didn't buy Netherlands, because I don't think these top 5, these teams have a chance of being in the top 5. So that's why, Paji, I'm wearing this red shirt. It's England's fan World Cup jersey. What is your player to watch for in today SL Park match? Kusal Mendes. That's why he's my captain. The guy is in outstanding form. The way he took on South Africa's bowlers, halanke the result was never in doubt. Sri Lanka were never going to even get anywhere close to 350 in that match. But the way that he's taken on the attack, it's outstanding. इंडियन एक्सप्रेस. अच्छा, आप अखबार से पढ़ रहे हो? मैंने कहा आप तो ऐसे बोल रहे हो कि आपके सोर्सेस. भाई ये गलती मत करना दोबारा. अगर आपने कभी किसी से बात नहीं किया ना, don't say sources. When you say sources, you're stating that sources has told you. You must say from the start, I read in the paper, I heard from Express. अगर आप कह रहे हो कि sources ने बताया, that to me says कि किसी ने आपको बताया. That's why I was wondering. I'm like, who's spoken to you in Malaysia? You know? Okay, it's in the paper. ठीक है, ठीक है, ठीक है. Yes. I read this story by Devendra Pandey. Look, I think Shubman Gill is also in doubt for the Pakistan match, but he's too big a player. Unless आज के मैच में कल के मैच में ईशान किशन नहीं चलते हैं, फिर आप कह सकते हो हाँ, you need a backup opener. But I unless Gill is actually out of the whole tournament, then you'll have to go for an opener. And then, I mean, who better than Yashasvi Jaiswal? Forget Gaikwad, yaar. You need that young boy. He's an outstanding form. You need a left-hander. He's a much better left-hand option than Ishan Kishan. If they actually decide to pick a replacement opener, I would hands down go for Jaiswal. वो लड़का वो कुछ कर सकता है, बिल्कुल सही. Hi Nihar, how are you? Nihar, sorry, how are you? Hmm. Yeah, let's see what's this. It's 123 for 1 now. Joe Root is there. David Malan's batting on 65. Very, 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 very interesting, yeah. Look, I mean, you look at the points table, right? England are still not gotten off the mark. एक ही इनका match हुआ है, but that 9-wicket thrashing at the hands of New Zealand, it's given New Zealand a very good run rate, and it's also put pressure on England to keep things going. You know, I expect them to beat Bangladesh. I expect them to beat Sri Lanka. I expect them to beat Pakistan. I expect them to beat Afghanistan. कहाँ ये फंस सकते हैं? साउथ अफ्रीका के साथ ये फंस सकते हैं, ऑस्ट्रेलिया के साथ ये जरूर फंसेंगे, इंडिया के साथ ये जरूर फंसेंगे। तो द मोर यू फॉल बैक, इट जस्ट पुट्स ओनस ऑन दिस फैक्ट कि आपको छोटे या कमजोर टीमों को आपको धोना पड़ेगा, जैसे कि पाकिस्तान ने नेदरलैंड्स को धोया, जैसे जैसे कल न्यूजीलैंड ने नेदरलैंड्स को धोया। बाय धोया आई मीन यू नीड टू विन बाय 80 90 मार्जिन्स। हाउ न्यूजीलैंड थ्रैश्ड इंग्लैंड, यू नीड टू विन बाय 8 9 विकेट्स, ताकि आपका नेट रन रेट बहुत बूस्ट होगा। क्योंकि अगर देखा जाए, बहुत लोग कहते हैं कि अभी भी बहुत ओपन वर्ल्ड कप है, मैं ये नहीं मानता। आई थिंक देयर ओनली five good teams and the other five are very very poor. But keeping in mind the odd upset, the odd pitch condition that might throw teams off their plans, like the Chennai track did to Australia, batti gayi lekin batti abhi aayegi. I think net run rate is going to be the critical factor for certain teams who might in the business end of this tournament struggle to get into the knockout. So New Zealand have done outstandingly well by boosting their net run rate with a 9 wicket thrashing of England. उसके बाद इनके 3 मैच देखिए, न्यूजीलैंड किसके साथ खेल रही? नेदरलैंड्स, बांग्लादेश एंड अफगानिस्तान। आगे बढ़ती, दैट इज 4 guaranteed wins in a row that they will have going into their 5th match on October 22nd against India. They'll be top of the table. I think they'll be 8 points, they'll be 4-0, they'll be unbeaten, and their net run rate, if they keep on beating teams by 9 wickets, by 100 runs like yesterday, बहुत बहुत important होगा ये। What target do you think England will set? Nothing less than 350, probably in the range of 370 if the batting keeps going. And I think the batting will keep going. जय भाई, लंका और पाक की अगर मैन टू मैन मार्किंग है तो पेस बॉलिंग को छोड़ दो, बैटिंग तो टॉप मिडिल ऑर्डर पाक से अच्छी है और स्पिन भी। स्पिन अच्छी है, लेकिन जिस दिन इमाम उल हक, बाबर आजम, मोहम्मद रिजवान और इफ्तिकार अहमद चलेंगे, मुझे इतना कॉन्फिडेंस पत्थुम निशंका से नहीं है। मुझे उतना कॉन्फिडेंस धनंजय डिसिल्वा की बैटिंग बहुत खराब है। श्रीलंका की बैटिंग बेसिकली 2 प्लेयर्स पे चलती है, आप देख सकते हैं आंकड़े पूरे साल में, कुशल मेंडिस और चरित असलंका। धनंजय डिसिल्वा ने कुछ नहीं किया, पथुम निशंका के पास 1 या 2 पारी है। एटलीस्ट पाकिस्तान कैन से दैट इमाम उल हक हैज गॉट 91 दिस ईयर। फकर फकर जमान आजकल खराब है, साल की शुरुआत में उन्होंने लगातार 300 मारे। बाबर आजम हैज गॉट 200 एंड अबाउट 550s। रिजवान, सौद शकील, दे हैव मैन टू मैन। अगर मार्किंग की, जैसे आपने कहा मार्किंग, तो सबको पता है कि पाकिस्तान के बैट्समैन हैव स्कोर्ड मोर रन दिस ईयर एंड दे आर मोर कंसिस्टेंट। श्रीलंका के शायद हो सके थोड़े अग्रेसिव हो, लेकिन अगर आप आंकड़े उठा के देखेंगे हार्दिक भाई, पूरे साल में केवल 2 बल्लेबाज चले हैं श्रीलंका के लिए, और पाकिस्तान के मुकाबले में मैन टू मैन मार्किंग 5 बल्लेबाज चले हैं। तो मैं इस बात से बिल्कुल सहमत नहीं हूं। हाँ, श्रीलंका के पास बेटर स्पिनर्स है, बट पाकिस्तान हैव बेटर फील्डर्स, better batting, and of course better fast bowling than Sri Lanka. अखबार वाला was the source. Are you superstitious? नहीं भैया, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है। I don't believe in astrology at all. But हाँ, कभी कभी कहता ना कि आप मैच के बीच अगर आप कहीं उस कुर्सी से हिले वगैरह, ये मैं 1 2 बार देख चुका हूँ लाइफ में। लेकिन मैंने कहा था संडे के स्ट्रीम पे, जब मैं एक मैच खेल के आया, our team was chasing, I think you all heard this as well, our team was chasing 190. Our middle order batsman, our opener was batting on 70 something. Our number 4, Pranav Bhai, was batting on again 70 odd. The team needed 8 runs in 9 balls with about 8 wickets left. And I got up from my chair. I had to come back for this live stream. मैंने कहा भाई लोग, all the best. मैं उठ रहा हूँ। जैसे मैं गया, someone said do not move. The पिछले मैच जब आप यहाँ नहीं थे, हम आखिरी ओवर में 5 रन नहीं बना पाए और हम हारे। आप वापस अपने चेयर पे बैठ जाओ। मैंने कहा यार कुछ नहीं है, मैं लेट हो रहा हूँ। In that over, 3 wickets fell. 3 wickets. And in the last over, we needed 5 runs, and it was a super over. So yes, I'm not saying I'm superstitious, but I've seen enough in my own life to tell me, okay, sometimes just don't get up from a certain spot, or don't move your cup of coffee if someone says so. Who knows? It's a strange world, but I have no time for astrology and all this nonsense. Jay bhai, what about South Africa? भले South Africa 400 बनाए हो, पर अच्छे टीम खिलाफ South Africa के easy performance कैसे कर पाएगी? Again, I don't have any backing. I don't have any stats. I don't have any solid proof. I just do not feel South Africa will be in the semifinals. They've got an outstanding middle order. They smashed one of the weakest bowling attacks on the flattest ground of the tournament. Hats off to you for getting 428. Will you be able to do against England, against India, against Pakistan, against New Zealand? I don't think so. And I'll stick to my prediction that South Africa will finish number 5th on the points table, and they will not go to the semifinals. What is use of using side on in LBW? Why don't they just start from ultra edge? as they always see. But it depends on what the angle of the ball is, right? You need to also see it. The height from side on, is it coming above the flap? Is it going above? Yes, Ultra Edge, Hawkeye, these are the two biggest things. But side on does play a part. It's not the most important part, Nihar, but you want to see कि भाई उस ball की angle क्या था? What was the angle and what was the height? That's it. Speaking of DRS and some strange decisions, how many of you saw that stumping yesterday, bhai? Engelbrecht was like 10 feet down the track, beaten in flight. It is a wide ball. Latham collected the ball, and the umpire called a third umpire called the batsman back saying Latham collected the ball in front of the stumps. I watched that replay 7 times. I took screenshots. To my mind, at least, आप लोग share करिए. Not once did Tom Latham collect the ball in front of the stump. It was very, very strange. Jay, I have an India to the end of the World Cup. Fantastic. India, Sri Lanka. Yes, I'll be there. I will be at India, Sri Lanka. I will be at India, Afghanistan tomorrow. And on November 12th, I'll be at India, Netherlands. Baki Mumbai ki baat kare. I have two more Mumbai matches. I can't remember what they are. A second, let me just try and tell you right now. 1 second. Since you asked the question, I'll tell you exactly. Stick around. I'll tell you exactly what Mumbai matches I have, my friend Crick Maniac. जो मलेशिया से आए हैं वांगखड़े स्टेडियम पुणे मुझसे हो नहीं पाएगा I have India Sri Lanka I have I think I have England South Africa and I have oh I'm also there for Afghanistan Australia so I'm there on October 21st if my shooting doesn't get cancelled. I'm there on November 2nd. I'm there on November 7th for Afghanistan, Sri Lanka. And then semi-final, if I get accreditation, I'll be there for the first semi-final on November 15th. So I'll let you know, my friend. We can catch up. Having won against Oz, India needs to win just one more crunch match against a strong team. They should easily beat. I agree with you. Look, they'll beat Afghanistan. I'm getting the weaker teams out of the way. They'll beat Afghanistan tomorrow. They'll beat they'll beat Sri Lanka. They'll beat Bangladesh. They'll probably beat England. They might struggle in the dew factor at Eden Gardens against South Africa. That's a tricky one, and they might struggle in Dharamshala against New Zealand. Baki to मुझे लग रहा है it's a straightforward. You're saying 6 of 9. I'm gonna say I'm going to stick my neck out and say at least 7, if not 8. I'm going to say 8 out of 9. I'm going to say India is going to storm into the semifinals because getting out of jail against that very good Australia side, of course, Mitchell Marsh will always be remembered as the man who dropped the match as well as potentially dropped the World Cup. But India has taken so much confidence. England in Lucknow could be a tricky one, but I'm going to back. अरे भैया power बहुत जा रहा है आज. I'm going to back India spinners Ashwin, Jaddu, and Kuldeep. Baki, the South Africa match and the New Zealand match, these are the two ones that I'm finding is slightly tricky. Or bhale wo do haar jaye, my friend, they will still be on 7 of 9. So good prediction, my friend Subhajit. Hence prove Jamie can alter the course of a match. बिल्कुल इतनी बार तो जब मैं क्रिकेट फॉर वॉलीबॉल करता था 2005 6 7 में I used to jinx so many players with my comments. So I'm known in the commentary circles as one of the biggest jinxers. So चलिए लास्ट का क्वेश्चन आप ये तो देखो वो स्कोर किसके अगेंस्ट है हांगकांग नेपाल और कीवी इनमें से कीवी छोड़ दो बाकी अगेंस्ट तो मेरी गली के बच्चे भी 100 बना सकते हैं ठीक है भाई आपको फालतू कमेंट करना है तो आप बोलो मैं तो कभी किसी अंतर्राष्ट्रीय टीम को इतना अंडर एस्टिमेट नहीं करूंगा जो नंबर 1 रैंकिंग पे थी पर ठीक है आपको लगता है बट आई नो माय स्टैट्स आई नो माय क्रिकेट पाकिस्तान टीम इज मच बेटर इन बैटिंग अगेंस्ट श्रीलंका ने श्रीलंका ने कहाँ खेला श्रीलंका प्लेड यूएई पीएनजी श्रीलंका इस साल वो सारे रन जिनके आए वर्ल्ड कप क्वालिफायर्स में अगर श्रीलंका की बैटिंग अच्छी होती तो उस बेचारे टीम को हार्दिक वर्ल्ड कप क्वालिफायर्स नहीं जाना पड़ता इनकी रैंकिंग इतनी खराब थी उनकी बैटिंग इतनी खराब थी कि वो ऑटोमेटिक क्वालिफाई नहीं कर पाए अफगानिस्तान बांग्लादेश ऑटोमेटिकली क्वालिफाई कर पाए यानी कि श्रीलंका की रैंकिंग इतनी खराब थी क्योंकि उनकी बैटिंग और बॉलिंग इतनी पुअर थी कि उनको वर्ल्ड कप क्वालिफायर्स जाना पड़ा इससे आगे मैं क्या समझाऊं अगर आप असल के क्रिकेट फैन हो तो आपको थोड़ी नॉलेज होगी कि किसकी टीम ज्यादा खराब है मेरे दोस्त Will Park get trapped in SL web of spin? There's an off chance. I think the only faith I have in Sri Lanka is if the track turns in Hyderabad, they have better spinners. Nawaz is a basic spinner and Shadab is out of form. If the track doesn't turn, I think Pakistan will beat Sri Lanka. I don't know whether, again, the teams have weaknesses, so the chances of a thriller get increased. जब दोनों के पास खराब बैटिंग हो, खराब बॉलिंग हो, तो कंपटीशन कम होता है, इसीलिए आपको थ्रिलर के ज्यादा चांसेस देखने को मिलते हैं. आप देखें श्रीलंका का पिछला मैच, साउथ अफ्रीका इतनी तगड़ी टीम है, और श्रीलंका की बॉलिंग, इसलिए मैं कहता हूं श्रीलंका की बॉलिंग नेदरलैंड्स के से पहले सबसे घटिया है इस वर्ल्ड कप में. दैट्स व्हाई साउथ अफ्रीका पुट 428 ऑन द बोर्ड. Now, against a struggling Pakistan team, that struggling bowling, the contest gets balanced. So, ho sake, because of how poor both these teams are, you might get a close match. But if you want me, like I said, 55% Pakistan, 45% Sri Lanka. Will Ashwin play tomorrow? Look, the Kotla, bhai, power bahut ja raha hai comeback aaj. Chale, I'm going to wrap the stream now. I think I'm going to have to go check the mains. Ashwin should play because of how well he bowled. But the Kotla track is not going to be like the Kotla track we've seen. This is a new track. It's a flat track. जिस pitch के ऊपर 450 रन 428 रन बने. Ashwin should play because you want control, but it's not straightforward. If the team feels like three spinners is a risk, then Ashwin will be the first name to go. But ये खबर मैं आपको आज शाम को दूंगा कोटला से, जब मैं वहां जाके लाइव प्रीव्यू करूंगा. ठीक है. यस, मैं कल स्ट्रीम करूंगा. कल मैं कोटला से करूंगा. कल मैं 4 लाइव स्ट्रीम्स करूंगा, 5 करूंगा. एक इस चैनल पर, एक रपोसो पर, एक टीवी 9 पर, और 2 क्रिकेट नेक्स्ट पर. कल मेरे 5 स्ट्रीम्स तो मैं रोज करता हूं, लेकिन कल के स्ट्रीम्स सारे वो पांचों के पांच वो ग्राउंड से होंगे. Anyways, I'm getting late. 12:30, hop over on Raposo. It's a very simple, it's a live streaming app. It's got entertainment, it's got movies, it's got sports, it's got astrology. Navjot Paji ne astrology ka zikr kiya. It's got news, it's got bhavishyawani, it's got बहुत चीजें उसमें. It's called Raposo, Roposo. It's bilkul free. It's free to register. You download it. It's on the Google Store. It's on the Apple Store. Every day at 9:30 in the morning and 12:30 in the afternoon, I'm there talking cricket. So come over and see me at 12:30 on Raposo. उसके बाद मैं कहाँ हूँ? उसके बाद 1 बजे News 9, और उसके बाद mid innings cricket next, or post the second match, that is Pakistan Sri Lanka. Again, I'll be on cricket next. So take care. Love you all. Have a great day. I will see you again in a few hours. Bye bye.